Hey y'all, and welcome to the No Rules, Just Vibes podcast. I'm your host, Maya Angel, and this is where we get real honest. Join me each week as I share my thoughts and have conversations about a variety of topics, from relationships, work, faith, to culture. This is a safe space for us to vibe out, think out loud, and share perspectives. No judgment, more laughs, and just a little bit of shade. Thanks so much for tuning in to the No Rules, Just Vibes podcast, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. What's up, y'all? This is Maya Angel, and the very first episode of No Rules, Just Vibes. Y'all, I am super lit. This is legit the first episode. I'm so excited. Actually, let's dial it back. I am sober. I can't have y'all thinking that I'm drunk on the show. I'm lit in spirit, period. But yeah, y'all, this is the very first episode. This is crazy. I can't believe that I actually started this podcast. It's been in the making for a minute, and I'm almost having like an out-of-body experience right now. But yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited about it. I think this is about to be a crazy, fun journey, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm so happy that you guys are joining me in on it. Yeah, it's crazy starting a podcast in a pandemic. And I'm here solo today. So it's just me and you. And I will be having guests on the show, but I am still figuring out how to do it in a COVID-friendly manner. So until I figure that out, it's just going to be me and you. You have the privilege and the honor of listening to me. But yeah, I just can't risk bringing someone on the show and I get COVID and then I go hug my granny like I always do, and she get COVID. Now me and you got to fight, because now we got a problem. You can't mess with my granny. So, yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out. So as soon as I am creative enough and I can come up with a way to still do the podcast and bring people on, I will be doing that so we can have the crazy conversations that I know you guys are looking forward to. But just not right now. So with that being said, how are y'all doing? We have been in a pandemic for months now. It's literally insane. It's December 2020 and we are in a pandemic with no end in sight. It's crazy. It's legit crazy. And I'm in the U.S. and the U.S. is just out here like it doesn't even have a brain. Like, that's the best way I can explain it. I feel like we're getting jumped by COVID, racism, political chaos, unemployment, just all at once. And it's like, I don't know how to feel. So tell me how y'all are feeling. This will be on my YouTube. This will be on SoundCloud. Comment. Let me know how y'all are feeling. What do y'all feel about everything? I think a lot of the times we've been conditioned to just push through in spite of, and we have this mindset, to just kind of business as usual, act like nothing is going on. And I can't lie. And I don't want to sound insensitive when I say this, because part of me is like, okay, we're in a pandemic, but I still got to conquer 2020. I got to get my body together. I got to level up. I got to get in my bag, make these haters sick. It's in me. I don't know why. It's like, it's almost, and I hate saying this, but it's almost like, okay, yeah, we're in a pandemic, but the pandemic ain't stopping no show. And that is a terrible thing to say. That is it's horrible to say, because it is tone deaf, and it literally just ignores all of the people that have had their life turned upside down due to COVID. So I don't know. That may be wrong to say, but I'm going to say it. So, I mean, it is what it is. I feel like that sometimes. And then on the other hand, it's like, child, just survive. Like doing nothing is literally enough. And it's like, have grace on yourself to actually feel and recognize that you are in a real pandemic. Like, thousands and thousands of people are dying every day. Cases are rising every day. And it's just having that reality and just trying to balance what you should be doing, how you should be feeling is, I don't know. There's just so much uncertainty. And then so many people feel so many different ways about it. You know, you have people that feel like it's a hoax. Like literally the numbers are there. People are sick. Hospitals are overflowing. And you have people that still feel like it's a hoax. Like they feel like it's the flu. Like no vaccine in sight. They feel like it's the flu. And wearing a mask for them is just too much. It's just too much to ask. You have people that feel like that. But then on the other hand, you have people that have had family members die from this. They've had it. And then I think one of the crazy things that isn't even highlighted enough is the long-lasting effects from those people who've had it, you know? I think we see the numbers and we talk about cases and people testing positive and then people dying, but nobody is talking about the long-lasting effects that people are having or will experience just from testing positive from it. So it's a real thing. I'm gonna wear my mask. I think, you know, it's important to be safe, and not just safe for myself, but safe for those people around me. And I just wish more people had that level of consideration or compassion to just not do things for themselves, but you know, there's people out here clubbing and then want to link. Like, no, we not doing no sneaky links. We not linking up after, especially I didn't watch your Instagram story all week or all weekend, and you've been out here at the club smoking hookah. I don't know. So hookah has a different type of hold on black people in general, and I just wish it would stop. I just don't understand it. It's like hookah got my people in shackles right now, and I don't know. It's like we can put the hookah down for a minute in the middle of a pandemic. Like, relax. That's, you know, that's another topic though. But yeah, let me know how y'all are feeling. I just feel so many different ways about the pandemic, how it was handled, the misinformation surrounding it. It's just so much misinformation. People are still legit having to go to work. And that's another pet peeve of mine, because employers are literally willing to risk their employees getting sick when a lot of them have remote processes in place for their employees to work remotely. And it's like they're still expecting you to come into work. And that's, I mean, it's beyond me. I don't get it. What's the point of having a remote process in place if you're not going to utilize it? Like, at all times, like, this is the time to utilize it. Like, it's not for, I would think that it's not for just, you know, someone's on vacation and they need to work remotely. Like, no, it's the time to use it is when you're in a pandemic and you don't want to risk your entire workforce getting sick from something that doesn't even have a vaccine. Like, this is the time to utilize it. But I don't know. It's like business as usual. Everything is still open. We're expected to just kind of keep pushing through. And then you have the added just pressure of people that have small kids right now and just figuring that out. I can imagine that. Having a kid, having to go to work, your kid is not in school. And then if you don't have the support system or a babysitter every day of the week, or, you know, if you can afford a babysitter every day of the week, like, how are you supposed to do that? Like, it's really unrealistic. And I don't think enough people are just highlighting some of the experience that people are just going through right now in the middle of a pandemic, let alone unemployment. Like, it's people out here that don't even have a legit job, like, and are still expected to pay rent, mortgage, bills. Like, what are people supposed to do? Like, it's crazy. It's literally insane. Like, when you lay it out like that and you just really think about it, and you think about how, you know, the government gave people $1,200 months ago. Companies got millions and millions and millions of dollars, and like the average American got $1,200. One time, like a one-time payment of $1,200, and was pretty much expected to survive a pandemic. That is literally insane. That's insane. I mean, I just don't. I think a lot of times we take things for granted, and while that's not my experience, I think just acknowledging that a lot of people are dealing with real things out here. We just need more consideration across the board, just more consideration. That's just how I'm feeling about it right now. Okay. That was my little rant about the pandemic. Tell me how y'all feeling. I want to know, what are y'all dealing with, your experience. Something that you may be going through that you don't feel is highlighted or people aren't talking about, or it's just kind of being pushed under the rug. I want to know about it. I think just knowing other people's perspectives and what they're dealing with, I think it puts a lot just in context. I think that's good to know, because you'll have people in positions and in power, or just in place to be able to say, hey, do we distribute another stimulus relief or not? And they have no inclination of what people are actually experiencing. And I think we need more of that. I don't think it's complaining. I think people need to share and show what the average American is experiencing right now, because the average American that catches the brunt of everything is not in the decision making. Just, they don't hold decision making power to a lot of the things that affect them. And so you have people that are out of touch with reality, or just not experiencing what most people are experiencing, making decisions on their behalf. And I will never understand that. So, one of the things that you can do is just share, let us know what you're going through, what you're dealing with, how has the pandemic affected you and your family. Have you had family members die from COVID? What are the medical expenses? That's something that I'm interested in knowing, actually, just the medical expenses tied to the pandemic, or just, beyond testing positive. So you test positive, and you or your loved one has had to go into the hospital and stay in the hospital and get on a ventilator, or, I've heard some people have had to have surgery, or the pandemic or just COVID has just increased other health issues that they may have been dealing with. Like, how has that affected your medical bills? Like, are insurances giving people a break? Or I don't know. That's what I want to know, because medical bills are legit high anyway. So I would like to see what they look like in a pandemic, because that's something that I really haven't been seeing on the news. And I try to watch the news some, but I haven't been seeing that a lot. And I would like to know, what are people doing, or just how are they coping with medical bills in a pandemic? So yeah, share with me. Let me know if you've had any of these experiences. Let me know. I want to know about it. I want to read about it. I want to talk about it. I comment back. So if you comment on my social media and you have something decent to say, I don't comment and respond to foolishness. But if you have legit, fair concern or just fair perspective, I will comment. Like, I love doing that. So let me know. This is episode 1. This is just what I feel, what I think, my thoughts. Sometimes they can be all over the place. You'll find out real soon that I can be a bit scatterbrained. I share my thoughts as they come to my head, which may be a curse, and it may get me in a world of trouble down the road. But I think, you need the space to talk freely and learn and unlearn and share your thoughts. Like, you don't even know, you will never learn and grow if you're not open enough to share how you feel, share your perspective, share your insights, and be receiving of the same. So, which is one of the reasons why I started this podcast. I felt like I needed a space to speak freely, spark different conversations, listen to other people's perspectives, and not have that fear of, okay, am I being politically correct? Or, dang, if I say this, I may get some backlash, or this whole cancel culture thing, which sometimes I think is valid, but a lot of the times I think it just suppresses valid points that people make out of fear that whatever they're saying or their idea isn't popular. So I always go back and forth between this. I sometimes there's two extremes. There are the free thinkers who go against the grain on everything, and sometimes that doesn't make sense. It's just they think free thinking is disagreeing anytime there's a popular thought. And no matter how valid or just accurate that popular thought is they just unnecessarily or baselessly disagree and call it free thought. I don't necessarily agree with that. But I do think sometimes you should be allowed to have a difference of opinion no matter how popular something is. So that's what this space is. And on the flip side, just, sometimes we will have a popular thought. Sometimes, the popular thought is right. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I just wanted a place to speak freely and have other people speak freely and talk about different things that may not be popular to talk about or may go against the grain a little bit without having the fear of, oh my God, if you say this is going to get you canceled, or, that's not the right thing to say, or you shouldn't say that. Like, no, that's how people learn. And that's how people learn that they're wrong. That's something too. I think it's a good opportunity to show people, hey, that's not the proper way of thinking, and or that let me show you why thinking like that is valid, or let me show you how destructive that way of thinking is. I think it's a great opportunity for people to grow. So that's why I started this podcast. And it's crazy because I almost didn't do it. I have been thinking about starting a podcast for a while now, and I've had friends tell me, "Oh my God, you should start a podcast, or you'll be great doing a podcast." And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it. Everybody's doing a podcast. Like, that's the trendy thing to do right now." And I kind of got in my own way, and I was hesitant about it. But then I started thinking to myself, okay, let's say, what if Nature's Own decided not to make sliced bread because we already had it? What if Rihanna decided not to do her Savage Fenty lingerie line because we already had Victoria's Secret? And it's like, I can't, that was the realization to me, like, just because everybody's already doing something doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. And I don't know, that's a word for somebody, actually. So whoever's listening to this and you're feeling like there's something that you want to test the waters with, and there's something that you want to do, but you feel like the market is already overly saturated, or somebody's already doing that, or somebody has that idea. Y'all, it's so many companies that make white t-shirts. Like, I mean, it's you don't know what your brand is gonna be like. You don't know who your brand is gonna resonate with. You don't know what different thing that you can bring to the table that brings people in or just connects with people in a different way. And so you can't get in your own way. And it's so crazy, y'all, because I am always the person that's telling people the very thing that I'm telling y'all right now. And it's crazy that I experienced it myself. Like that, I was struggling and hesitant with the very thing that I tell people not to be hesitant about. So, I mean, it was a word from me. And I just think you can't get in your own way just because you feel like somebody is already doing something. Like, God gave you a specific gift. He gave you a talent, and it's up to you to use it. And if that's an attack of the enemy. That kind of self-doubt or just lack of self-confidence, or just feeling like you shouldn't do something because somebody else is already doing it. That is the very thing that that's how I feel. That's the very thing that the enemy will use to keep you stagnated or just keep you from not doing something that you could potentially be great at. So, you know, I don't know who that's for, but don't get in your own way just because somebody's already doing the thing that you may be interested in doing. And I think that's a good thing to do. Test the waters. You test the waters in multiple industries, or if you don't really know what you're doing, I don't think you wake up one day and just know your purpose and passion. Unless you just have this talent. I know a lot of athletes, they're kind of born with this God-given talent, or if you're born as a talented singer, that's different. But if you're just out here and you don't necessarily know what it is you want to do, test the waters, date to find your passion and purpose. I don't think enough people do that. And that's something that I do. And I have to always just think about it in a different way, because a lot of the times we're not taught to think like that. And it's not the traditional way you find your profession or your career path or your passion and your purpose, or whatever you're supposed to be doing for a living. That's not like, the traditional way that things happen. And for a long time, I thought that, oh my God, you're doing this now, or you're trying this new thing. And I thought it was like, okay, you just don't have any direction. You need to take a step back, sit down, think about it. And yeah, you can't commit to something, or you're just inconsistent. And no, that's not it. Like I started thinking different. And I would like to argue that you just don't wake up one day and know what you want to do out of life. Like, I think you should date around, try different things, try different industries, to figure out what it is that you like and what you don't like. You know? Like, there's no right way to do things. There's no one way to do things. And I think that's okay. I'm 28 and I'm starting a pandemic. Not a pandemic. Look at me. I'm 28 and I'm starting a podcast in a pandemic. Yeah. And I'm a lawyer. Like, I have a job. I don't have to do this, but I think it's something that I would be interested in, because I like talking. I like sharing my thoughts. I like hearing other people's thoughts. I like talking about what's going on in the world today, and, pop culture, faith, work, venting, ranting. I like those things. So this is something that I thought I would be interested in. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen or what this goes to. But the fact that I'm trying and I'm starting and I'm doing, I refuse to leave this world saying, what if I had done this? What if I had started a podcast? What would have happened had I started a podcast? I don't know. It happened because I'm doing it. And I think more people should do that. Just because something doesn't seem like it would be lucrative, or just not this professional, or just, I don't know. I don't even know the word for it, but just, this highly respected career path, or just something that's super impressive. People make money doing anything. You don't know what you would be good at unless you try. You don't know where you're going to connect with people, or where you're going to inspire, where you're going to influence, until you try. And it's okay to change career paths. I think thinking this way comes at a cost. So I will say that's the flip side of this. It comes at a cost. Trying different things, that's time, that's money. Most times it involves money. And I've lost a lot of money on starting businesses, putting myself out there. But I've learned so much more. I've learned how to start a business. I've learned, okay, what marketing should look like. How to do ads, how to create my own website, the legal side of having a business, taxes. I mean, you learn things on the journey, and that can't be underestimated either. So, I don't know who that's for. That just kind of came in my head today, and I thought it was worth sharing, because I think a lot of the times we're just taught to go to school, go to college, get a job, work there for however many years, start a family, retire, and that's your life. No, like it is, that can't be it all the time. That's not it for everybody. And that's something that I think I have to realize, and some of y'all need to realize. I don't know. I don't know who I'm talking to, but some of y'all need to realize that the traditional career path and professional path and the traditional path of life it may not be for you. And so, don't waste years doing something that you're not happy doing just because your family is proud of you, or someone can brag on you being a doctor or a dentist or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that that's what you don't want to do, or that's not a good profession, because I'm a whole lawyer out here. I know what I had to do. I know that I have an entrepreneur spirit, but at the same time, I'm just not willing to compromise on the safety and the security of a high earning job. So you have to do what works for you. Like, yeah, I want to start a podcast, but I'm just not willing to go through that phase of slinging mixtapes out the back of a trunk. Like, that's just not what I'm going to do, or what I'm willing to do. Like, no, I have a high earning job and I'll start a podcast too. So I can buy my own recording equipment. I can run my own marketing, and I have enough money to invest in ads or whatever it is that I need to do without going through that struggle, hustle, and bustle period. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of the times that lack of security and safety may drive the hustle more. You just have, I think a lot of the times those individuals that go through that have a little bit more fight and more ethic and more work ethic in making it. They're hungrier most times because they're legit hungrier. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Like, sometimes being comfortable doesn't give you that hunger that you need to make it. And I find myself there sometimes too. Like, how much harder would I work if I didn't have the security and safety net of a job? How much harder would I work if I had two kids depending on me to make it? Those people don't really have an option to fail. I currently have an option not to do anything but just continue to go to work. And I think so, I don't know. I think that could be stifling sometimes. Y'all let me know what you think. I don't know. I feel like I'll go back and forth with my way of thought about things sometimes. So make sure you let me know how you feel. If you hear me say something that you agree with, disagree with, let me know. I need to know how far off I am with my thought process. So, yeah, I that's just how I think about things right now. But I don't know. I'm not going to keep y'all today. This was just a little introductory video, the first episode. I just wanted to share my thoughts, let y'all know that I'm out here. We out here in this podcast world. So make sure you download, make sure you rate, review so people can find us. Make sure you share. Talk to me, speak to me, follow me on all of social media. I'm Maya and Jill pretty much everywhere. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You can find me. And like I said, I'll be posting all of my episodes on every platform that I'm on. Currently, I'm on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, TuneIn. We're working on getting on Google. We're on YouTube. So make sure you comment there. Let me know what you think. And until next time, thank you guys for listening in. Hey guys, thanks for listening to No Rules, Just Vibes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, comment, and review to help other people find the show. Again, I'm your host, Maya Angel, and if you want to hear more from me, don't be shy. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Love y'all, and talk to you soon.